another episode of Conversations with L, and we're here with Miss Jessica Hill, aka the Black Man's Therapist. We're here today to talk to this young lady because we want to keep rolling into relationships. All right, Jessica. So I don't know if I want to go so much as to trying to get into your relationship. I'll just ask: are you in a relationship, dating, or?
I'm not in a relationship, but I am dating.
Okay. Okay. So what do you see? Like I said, I've been doing this for a minute now, right? And having a lot of conversations, and probably 85% women, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them talk about how difficult it is out here today.
Yeah.
That, their selection, how those men who are possibilities are presenting themselves, how they're a lot of times falling short, how there are even a lot of men that don't seem to be really interested in pursuing a real relationship. They want to have fun, they want to kick it, they want to do some things.
Yeah.
But relationship wise, they're not so serious about that. And then as also I talk to young men.
Yeah.
And they're talking about some of them. I'm fortunate to talk to now younger men in their 20s and 30s who are very mature and know that what they want, and they just want a good woman.
Yeah.
Right? That's willing to build a life with them. But you get a lot of men still talking about when these women want too much. They're too demanding. They act like they don't need a man. They're not, they got their issues, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm happy to have are the conversations about all of it. But I really want to hear about, especially coming from young women, about what it is that they're seeing out here, what they're not seeing, what they'd like to see from possible mates, from men, how they wish to be treated, how they wish to be acknowledged, all of that. So as you said, you're dating, you're not in a relationship. So in dating, I understand, it's about, because it's been a minute since I've been there.
Yeah.
But I understand that that's about, getting to know someone.
Yeah.
Them getting to know you. You guys figuring out if what you have in each other will gel together, will it work, but also feeling them out, what they aspire towards, what they want in that relationship, what they want in that mate, what you want.
Yeah.
And does that all work together? So again, in this dating scene, or dating, trying to figure that out, are you seeing, and again, I don't want to just put on the one young man. I'm not trying to put him on point.
No.
But do you see it in general? Because, of course, you've been dating before.
Yeah.
Right? Are you seeing men having some challenges?
Definitely seeing the men have challenges. I would say dating is so different now, and I talk about it with my friends. Of like, sometimes I feel like I don't date correctly. Like, I have some friends that like, look, I'm single until I'm in a relationship,
right.
And they're dating multiple people, not doing everything with them, but going on dates and stuff. Whereas me, I'm such a lover girl. It's like, if I'm dating one person, I'm focused on this person. If it doesn't work out, you move on. So I think that the concept of dating is still very difficult for some. I know for me, it's like kind of like, should I go on other dates? Should I just stick to this one person? But what I am seeing with a lot of men is that the intentionality is not there. Men say that they want a certain thing. They say that they want a type of woman or a caliber of a woman, but not always being the person that they're saying that they want the woman to be.
Right.
And of course, different dynamics, like a man can't be a woman, but what you're requiring of a woman and what you're saying that you want, you're not acting on that either. So it's kind of, it's difficult, or they're coming to the table saying like, this is what I want, but you're not even giving me anything that makes me want to walk in my femininity with you, and having that softness and feeling like, can I let my guard down? Like, I think that it should be equal, where it's not just all just on the man, where it's not just all just, you have to show up and be superhero all the time. It should be a balance. But sometimes what I'm seeing, that a lot of women are not in that space where we even feel safe enough to let our guard down, to even allow you in that space, because the inconsistencies, the lack of intentionality. So I would definitely say that it's a mixture of a lot of different components as to what we're seeing right now in the dating space.
Well, tell me this. Do you, and like you said, sometimes seeing that lacking, are you able to discuss that with the young men today? About, hey, this is what I need from a man. Not so much, because I don't see you as being a person who is directly at one man saying, you don't have this, you don't have that. You don't have, I think you make it general, just in being considerate to say, hey, well, you know, what I think about in my overall thought as far as a successful, happy, loving relationship, the man is this, kind of giving some direction. Because I think in all relationships today, you know, even though I've been in one for decades, it's still the thing of communication.
Correct.
You know, if I've been with this woman forever, but I can't read her mind.
Yeah.
You know? and she doesn't
and we're horrible at that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's like you got sometimes, and I won't say all of you, but sometimes some of you, and my wife isn't horrible with this, but she'd be like, almost like, you should know, or you should, you know, read my mind or feel my vibe. And I'm like, your vibe can be all over the place. Just tell me. So in talking to the men today, you know, are you able to, I don't think so much wait until you see a shortcoming, but just to have those conversations.
Yeah. I would definitely say in my current dynamic, I have watched the communication grow tremendously in a very positive way. There was a time where I felt like when I would express myself, because he comes from a dynamic where communication just wasn't a thing. Like and not to toot my horn, but it's like I am the most different, I guess I would say, the most different woman that he's ever been with. And so what I'm requiring is a lot different than what other women have ever required of him. So the communication, when we first began dating, it was very difficult. Like he would like shut down. Like I would text something or say something and we would go a week without talking. Like it just horrible, horrible communication. So I see that it has grown, and I feel like, you know, a lot of times I feel like maybe in my situation I was more patient than some women. I think that's also a piece of it. Like women, we're in a space of our life where it's like, we don't have time. Like we don't have time. If either you got it or you don't. And so when you see someone or you have someone, it's like I see them trying. I see that there is effort there. You know, having that patience of like, because we don't always get it right, and we won't always get it right. But I would say in the communication aspect, in my personal dynamic, I've seen it, you know, grow. I've seen it become very healthy. I feel like right now it's in like one of the most healthiest states that it's been in, because he's now identifying like what I need, and I'm seeing what he needs as well. Because one thing that when you feel like you're a good communicator, sometimes you feel like you're such a good communicator, it's like, why is this person not understanding? But if you are not communicating in a space that this person can understand, it doesn't matter how good of a communicator that you are. If you are not touching on that person's love language, if you're not touching on their communication style, you're in Mars and trying to get this person to understand what you're saying, but that's not their communication style. So me having to learn that as well, of like, okay, Jessica, he's not a person that in the immediate moment he needs to talk about it. He needs a second to process. Whereas for me, and then what can look like a lack of communication for me, or my lack of being able to look at what it is that you need, could be because I communicate one way, then now I'm looking at communication on a one-size-fits-all approach, and that's not fair.
Okay, so tell me, does your professional background as a therapist, do you think that helps or hinders the relationship?
I think that it helps, but I also, so for me, I feel like I was blessed being in this field with having community around me. What I mean by that is that a lot of people in this field will take what they're doing in work and often pour it into every other single part of your life where there's no distinguishing. Whereas when I was coming in, I had community, I had my village and my girls that's like, okay, Jessica, no, you're not a therapist today. So for me, it can be a helpful and a harmful aspect for me, because there's certain things that it's like, okay, Jessica, if this was a client, you would be seeing this clear eyes view. But because I have such hard boundaries about my personal life and my profession, that sometimes I don't blend the two. And it's sometimes where it's like, okay, Jessica, you actually should have brought some of your clinical and professional knowledge to this versus just being personal, emotional, things like that. So I would definitely say in some cases it has definitely been helpful, but in some cases it's been harmful too.
I guess we're human, you know, so we're not perfect. And like you said, you can bring too much of the professional or bring too much of the emotion, which you know, sometimes they can work, sometimes they don't work.
And I will say, like, he gets on me, he laughs at me, because I'll say one of my favorite lines that I'll say in therapy, and I say it in my personal, and it's not that I'm trying to blend, but it's just what I'm saying. Like, when I'm talking to a client, or even when I'm talking to my friends, if it's something that you aren't ready to acknowledge within yourself. I'll always say, like, you don't have to answer that question here. You don't have to answer that question for me, but it is something that you need to answer for yourself. So I'll say that, and he like, you love that line. You say that. I hear you saying that in therapy and different stuff. And I'm like, no, actually. And like, I think that's kind of like the bad part sometimes with being in this profession and in the dating space, because people think, or not even just dating, just, regular conversation with people, my questioning and how I say things can sound like I'm coming from Jessica the therapist, when it's really like, no, I'm just asking a question. But because this is my profession, you look at it like I'm trying to put you in the seat, and I'm not. So that can be that's a whole other conversation. But that I think that's a frustrating piece when it comes to communication sometimes with me, because people can view me as Jessica LCSW, and I'm like, I'm literally just being Jessica, just having a conversation.
Right.